Alright, welcome back. Let's get into this. First off, we're going to send out some generals. You can send up to 5 generals in a battalion to the front lines to take over a castle or stop an invading army. I don't have that many generals because if you take all of your generals out of a castle, you no longer control that castle, and then the troop count that you can recruit from goes down to 0. We're going to take over this first castle here, which is generally one of the nearby castles is going to be story-driven, meaning you're going to get a couple of generals out of it in the grand scheme of things, or items or something along those lines. Typically, it's just to get you used to the battle system, and they're pretty easy fights, more text and dialogue than anything else. This one is against Gustav. Really stupid story concept. We're gonna have a mercenary try and kill a king, but we're gonna have that king come to us. Wow, it's brilliant. So, but he's not the big fish, so we've got to wait till we beat him to find out who the big fish is, and we won't find out here because I don't think I've got enough time to get to that fight. I've got to wait for another domestic affairs screen before the story will progress. And with that, sometimes you do have to wait for domestic affairs or another story prompt to take over within a certain length of time. One thing that aggravates me about this, and I think it's just the translation, is they never use Junon's, nickname, the Black Mask of Death, or Black Masked Death, or they have like 6 different versions of it. No one gets it right. Let's get into the battle. The computer will randomly select one of the generals to send out against you first, and you can choose who goes against them. We are going to send Aros out. He's a great starting general. He outnumbers my opponent's troops, and he's a knight against a fighter, which knights are kind of strong. They've got great stat growth, and they start off with some really good abilities. Formations, everyone gets the same starting 3 formations of special, offense, and defense, and then depending on your general, you get a 4th one that is unique to that general. Ramsel gets protect, which means they stand in a pattern around him. Really not all that useful because of how the mechanics of the game work. If your units are standing there not doing anything, they get a first strike bonus. So as long as your opponents are the first ones to move forward and attack, and if you're within attacking range, you're going to attack first. Next are the specials that you see. Both of us have access to Sonic Boom, which is a good entry-level attack. It does damage to enemy troops, and it does damage to the enemy general. I've got more MP, so I can use it more often, which means he got the crap kicked out of him from that, and he's not going to survive against my last few harpies. One big joke that you can always make is, yes, he was killed by herpes. Yeah, you're going to hear that one a lot from me. So we've beaten Ramsel, and since, again, this is story, he's probably not going to be killed. I'm probably going to capture him. Well, I know I'm going to capture him. I'm going to capture all 3 of them, and they are going to join me. I've played through this enough to where these 3 will join you. If you happen to kill a general in combat, that's just one that you were never meant to get as that monarch. If you play as another monarch, it's possible that you will get them. Or their skull children, which you'll see more of them later. Let's see. Kid. The Kid is a thief. Thieves suck. They are really on the low end as far as generals go. They get one useful ability, Shiva's Dagger, and you'll see that one here in a second. I'm sure he's going to use it. It doesn't do any damage to the general. It will kill units that are in the way, but what it does is it lowers your power meter down so that there's more time in between you using your special. And as you see there, that I was talking about the first strike bonus, I lost all of one of my troops, and I took out all of his just by sitting there. Oh, and there goes Shiva's Dagger. See, no physical damage to my HP, but it knocked my power meter down a chunk. But I've already used my special. That's one good hint to do against, thieves and ninjas. They've got an ability that attacks your power meter instead of your HP. Be the first one out of the gate to use your special. That way you're guaranteed to use it, and you get that effect, either damage or otherwise. I really don't think my Harpies are going to kill him. I think it might come down to a duel. You have no control over the duels. It's all computer controlled. You basically sit back and relax, watch the fight happen, and hope your general comes out on top. If they had made it so you know you could press a button or do something else to do a combo or defend, that would have been awesome, but no. Too much to add for that. Alright. 2 generals down, now it's just Gustav himself, and I'm going to send Junon out. One thing you want to do with this is always make sure your monarch gets leveled, because you are going to be using them. All of the monarchs. Because again, Dragon Force, you know, that sort of thing. Don't let them get by with being under-leveled or having crap troops, because you're going to need them. They are going to have some of the hardest fights later on. Make sure you've got them up to par, or you're screwed. There's no way around it. With this, he's got cavalry. Cavalry are pretty good troops to start off with. I'm just going to let them come to me, and my Harpies are going to decimate them. Flame Cannon, great starting ability. It does a lot of damage. Doesn't do any damage to the troops, though. I'm kind of sad about that. Because anything that does damage to your general and your troops, that's a win-win. But I've got more than enough MP to where I can cast it twice. And, that's like half his HP gone right there, just from my magic attacks. So my Harpies are going to end him. Even if he gets off a Sonic Boom or something, not really going to do any damage to me. Because at this point, he's gone. Yes, Gustav, you are a disappointment. So that's the first 3 generals down, and that's the story for that. Next, we are going to... Well, with the next domestic affairs, we're going to have to deal with his employer, which you'll see that coming up soon. For now, I'm going to make sure I take over this castle and leave a general here so that it stays under my control, and send my other troops that went into battle back to my main castle so that I can get more troops for them. Anytime you do battle in a castle, the troops that you can recruit from drops down. Unless you've got a full complement or you didn't have to recruit beforehand, typically you're going to lose some troops. And every time you do battle in a castle, the castle's level decreases, which means the max number of troops you can store to recruit from goes down as well. So, big things with that. But my main castle has more than enough troops for me to refill and then send them back out. Senna will just pretty much live in this castle. I don't think I'm ever going to move him. I've never used him. Magicians are just way too weak. I've never been able to win a fight with him. So he's just going to stay in the castle, and he'll be fine. As a starting general, he's not going to leave. With that, I think I'm going to end it here, and I will see you in the next movie.